Hello people from the internet, Shida here. So, in one of my latest videos I show you guys what it's like to beat Castlevania Symphony of the Night, killing the least amount of enemies possible. Then someone suggested in the comments I should try it with Richter. At first I didn't want to make this video because I assumed it was gonna be completely trivial since he can high jump from the start. However, I was curious, and I decided to give it a try. At first, I was so certain the run was gonna be fast that while starting the stream, I said the challenge was just gonna take about half an hour. So before we start, write in the comments how many enemies you think you need to kill to beat the game as Richter, and let's go on with the video. Hey guys, real quick, last video we managed to get to 500 views, but I'm still at 39 subs. Let's make it to 100, shall we? Thanks. So, I put on the Richter code and start checking the commands I have available. I go up here and get this item. For Richter, this is just a full life heal, and as far as I'm aware, it does not increase our max HP. Richter also doesn't level up, which wouldn't be useful regardless, since we are not gonna be killing enemies very often. If you ever played as Richter, you know he's squishy as a fly, but deals a lot of damage with his item crash. But you will see that in this run we won't be using the item crash for damage that much. I use the high jump to go over the warg, not very hard, but for the next one, the low ceiling makes it not possible, or at very least pretty hard. On trying to do so, I accidentally hit the enemy and have to restart. Another Richter ability is a backflip. It wasn't useful at all, and it didn't seem that I could simply jump over like I do as Alucard. When earlier I tried to jump over the warg and killed it, I was trying to use this ability to go over it. The air dash requires a complex motion to execute it, so it's very hard to do it quickly and under pressure. One thing you may have noted is that all the Richter movement abilities are attacks, which makes this run a lot harder since we don't want to hit enemies. I haven't saved the game yet. Every time I fail I have to input the Richter code again, which is annoying. My air dash trick works, but it's very hard to do it several times consecutively. After a few tries I was already getting frustrated, and I needed a new strategy. So here's what I found. If you run near the warg, baiting his bite, run back a bit, turn around and jump, you can go over it. I repeat this over and over until the zombies show up. With a little luck and some damage, I was able to go over them. I need to go up here to get to the next save room. I bait the little bats to the right and then go back. I was worried about some enemies that are usually in this room. They are very strong, but for some reason they are not here. I assume they just show up if first I go to the alchemy laboratory, which raises a few questions. We all know that once we get to the next area, the enemies in the entrance change, which makes me think that this first entrance area is either a different area from the entrance it later becomes, or maybe Alucard was supposed to be able to start the game with the Bat Relic before death takes it from us, and we would be able to save up here. I asked on the Long Library Discord server about this and they confirmed to me that the first entrance is not the same as the later one, or something to that extent. Anyway, conspiracy theory aside, I save here, which is great. I pass through the next set of wargs using the same trick. I noticed that I can't safely damage boost through this skeleton, so I go up through here and then to the save room. Passing through this rusty skeleton is hard, so I just have to keep trying. I go to the marble gallery. I suppose we can avoid the usual first boss, but when I get here, the plate lord stops me with his balls of steel. I have no idea how to pass through him, so I decided to go another way. Alchemy Laboratory is mostly pretty chill, besides the blood skeleton that kicked my ass a bit. But it's okay, cause I find a healing potion. I pass through the room with the Arxi armors easily, and open this door that Alucard usually needs the jewel of open to have access to. Now I'm on Chapel, and to climb this set of stairs with enemies, I need to jump and then air dash. It's harder than it looks. Most times I fail to get up there, or maybe I get pretty far and kill something by accident. And the times I manage to finish, I end up with very little HP. I die once on the puppet sword trying to go over it. I try again and get myself in a similar situation, but now I just decide to pass below it. I'm desperate for a save room, but it's only available after you beat the boss. and since there is so many annoying enemies in this area, and I remember that some corridors are small and full of enemies, I decided to try the old route again. I remember that there is a stopwatch where the fishmen are, but getting it was not easy. Even the zombie rooms before it's a challenge. Once in the pond, I either die or kill something by accident. But eventually I managed to do it. This ability will turn out to be completely essential for this run. Also, say hi to Gaibo and Slogger. We won't go to meet them, so they came here to meet us. Man, just take a look at how stressful this run is. I realized that you can't just jump over someone with balls of steel, so I hit them and run for my life. I try to avoid every enemy in the way to the best of my abilities, and then I save. I think it's noticeable that many enemies are hard to avoid. I will try not to focus too much on these cases. So maybe if you wanna do this run yourself, there are still some surprises left. There is this corridor with one Ouija table on each side. Thankfully they don't do much damage. I tried to jump over the skeleton and die. This time I farmed 4 hearts on the clock tower. There is no reason for you not to abuse the time stop. And I go back to the place with the 2 Ouija tables. I stop time and try to pass through. However, I just fail. By the way, isn't it weird how the items on the table just suddenly show up? I managed to squish my way out unscathed. Oh look, the backflip was useful. By the end of this room, there's a place you can farm 4 hearts if needed. Jump over the Diplocephalus and air dash through the stone rows. Well, actually I failed many times to air dash and my HP got very low. I really wanted to save, but there is a healing item here, so you don't have to risk the corridor with the X-Knights at low HP. Regardless, I managed to safely jump over them. This whole section in the outer wall is way easier with the stopwatch. Be careful of the bone musket because being shot hurts. I save in the upper part of the area and head to the clock tower, an area in which I got stuck for 1/3 of the run. But with the tricks I found out, you should be able to do it quicker. Just spam the high jump and the air dash until you reach this platform. Then, before entering, stop timing here, so you don't get bothered by a Medusa. Thankfully, the harpies also got stopped in time. I was nervous and didn't even notice this path here. There's also this platform that you can't just press down and jump to go below it. Trying to do so will make you slide. The harpies can deal plenty of damage, so be careful. This candle here drops an useless sub-weapon. Do not get it. With careful positioning, I managed to go across this room, and we hit a roadblock. This room is full of sword lords, and there is no way above it. You have to take the route below. But it's completely full of enemies. Damage boosting didn't work. Before I got back there and tried to pass through using violence, my helpful friend P1 Kinos on chat gave me some guidance. With Richter, every sub-weapon has an item crash. It's a stronger power that spends more hearts. You see me do this every time I face Dracula in the beginning of the game. The one with the stopwatch is mostly pointless. It seems to last only about 5 seconds as well, and in the end it shoots some lightning that deals pitiful damage. Not useful to us. However, it's actually the most useful thing in the world for us. Look at what happens when I use the item crash and then walk into an enemy. Invincibility frames! It lasts for about 2 seconds, so be quick. After using this to pass through the lords, we go face the boss. Notice that I had nowhere to save. Usually with Richter, you just use an item crash and finish any boss. But in here, we don't actually have a sub-weapon that deals damage. So if I get hit like 2 times, I'm done for. I tried to use the item crash to see if I could stop bosses, but it doesn't matter really. The Karasuman is always a pushover. You can stun lock him like this, and in about a minute the battle is over. Making this our first kill of the run. There is no in-game counter this time. I save here and go straight to the second castle. Notice that there is no boss in this room, because, you know, we are actually Richter. Usually with Alucard we have to face 5 bosses, but with Richter we only need to go to the clock room. This means we have to choose between going through the Medusa or the Darkwing Batch. The Medusa area is full of annoying enemies, so I assumed the reverse clock tower was the better option. The Darkwing Batch was not a pushover. 2 to 3 attacks and I was dead. His range attack dealt over half my HP. I could find another sub-weapon, but I was sure we were gonna need the stopwatch later. However, he doesn't tank much. He has about 400 HP. Use the air dash and the high jump to deal this amount quickly, making this our second kill. I do not save after defeating the boss, because if it turned out that this was the wrong route, I could reload my save. This room with the Bomb Knights is pretty annoying. They die with one hit and deal a lot of damage. Every time I mess up here, I have to face the bat again, and occasionally I would win, up until I could beat him every time. Jump on these lifts and avoid the knights. I think crash over here for the iframes, and be careful with its lightnings. Try to punch them in another direction. Stop time again and go over these knights. I use the high jump to fit through this hole. It's a bit hard. The next room is full of cloaked knights, and they die with one hit. My way to deal with them was to aggro everyone to the same spot, so none of them would be in the way. Then I use the stopwatch and go up safely. To get down is very simple, just stick to your right, and then go up once in the next room, and you should get safely to the next save. On reverse altar wall, there are plenty of enemies in the way. Stop time and position yourself carefully. It's tricky, but not too tricky. You can use the library here to refill your hearts, but be careful. Again, I see myself here with low HP and wanting to go to the save room. But fear not, cause again, there's a full heal here. Jumping over the Paranthropus isn't particularly difficult. Save and use this room to farm for hearts. Proceed to the Black Marble Gallery, jump over the Thornweeds, and eventually you will see the skeletons. Start using the stopwatch. They are a bit tricky, but you will learn to navigate them. These, whatever these are, can be hard to avoid with Richter more stiff movement, so be extra careful around those. Eventually you will come across another skeleton, and they are immune to time. Use the item crash to pass through the Nova skeleton. Go up and save on the reverse caverns. It's a bit out of the way, but trust me, you will need the save room, because now it's what I believe should be the hardest section in this run. Being so close to the end makes this very fitting. When going back down, be careful with these jackal bones. Do not item crash, otherwise the lightning will hit the next skeleton. This fart face here deals so much damage with lightning out of his cock, but dies to 10 damage. Fucker. Jump over the first Nova skeleton. Then, for the second one, you want to use the item crash. Be as fast as possible and try to get into a good position to use the high jump. I failed several times trying to do this. When I managed to do it, the lightning killed the skeleton. And also this. Stay in this set of stairs and look right, and hopefully the lightning won't hit anyone. Item crash and wait for the lightnings here. Stop time once more and go above this fella. And now there is only one room between you and the end of the game. If you enjoyed the video so far, don't forget to leave a like, share and subscribe, all the good stuff. And if possible, comment down below, it helps a lot. And finally, ring the bell to receive a notification next time I upload a video. I try to post on Mondays, at least twice a month. Oh yeah, and follow me on Twitch if you wanna see me doing these challenges live. The next room has two guardians, the most powerful common enemy in the game. Alongside them, there is another enemy. I prepare my item crash, run, jump, and get hit by the second enemy on the line. I immediately use the item crash for the iframes and run, and jump just above the last enemy. When I did this, I was over the moon. I get to the clock, and the challenge is pretty much over. I save, go down, and get to the holy water, and farm for 99 hearts. Shaft never had a chance. One use and it's enough. On Richter mode, you don't have to face Dracula, making this our final kill. So we finally have our answer. What is the least amount of enemies you need to kill to beat Castlevania Symphony of the Night on Richter mode? The answer is 3. There is possibly some glitches that allow us to reduce this number. And hey, look, we didn't use any glitches this time. Anyway, even on speedruns, it seems that 3 is the minimal. By the way, the speedrun for this mode is just 5 minutes. Crazy. It took me close to 2.5 hours to finish this challenge. It was way more interesting than I was expecting. I hope you liked it too. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for watching. I have more Symphony of the Night challenge run videos if you wanna watch. I want to see you here again next time. Have a spooky night and goodbye. But before I go, this is not my dog. If you wanna see your dog in the end of the video, join my Discord server. The link will be in the description.